A pleasure to meet y'all at last. Now, I've got some pretty grieving news. Because as of yesterday, a failed repair attempt at one of my best products that I've ever owned in my lifetime had gone underway. And as such, as you can see here, this is all that's left of it. An instructional video that I'll post down in the description box below showed me how to properly repair and replace the LCD screen, because as you can see here, now this is put on with tape, but when I take this off, you could just see that a third of this whole screen was shattered. But of course, this wasn't the case while I was repairing it, because this right here was the whole reason I decided to undergo a replacement operation for the phone here. This is an LG K8 2017. I've had it since April 2017. Ergo, its name, 2017 K8. I've actually had it for that long, so it's not entirely sure about this. Hi, Choo-Choo. You want to come commemorate the memories? What are you doing? Anyways, as you can see here, all that I could do, now that the LCD part is also shattered, if you could look at the cracks on it, it's just badly cracked. Turn on the power button, which is located on the back like all LG products. It's practically nothing. Just a white screen of doom, as my mother said. She says it's a white screen of doom and that it's toast. So this is pretty much just all that's left. The only parts I could salvage are the battery, which fingernails aren't long enough because I trimmed them recently. I could just remove the backplate cover and recover the battery. I mean, it's still completely intact, along with the SIM card for the LTE data. It's also in there, just around this area here. It's also where you insert an SD card of your choice. Anyhow, this wasn't the first time that this screen, or this phone in terms, underwent a lot of stress, a lot of punishment this thing took, until finally back around March 11th, that was nearly 4 months ago, this was where the screen right here, this whole portion right here, just shattered after it fell out the bridge. It fell on the top of the bridge while I was bicycling, and that just gave it enough force to shatter right here. I still couldn't believe it worked though. This was one tough phone. Anyhow, if you're wondering just how much punishment this phone took before the screen itself managed to shatter finally, was that it just went under a lot of stress over the last year and a half. Some basic drops from my pocket or from my hand, sometimes on purpose to show how tough it was, along with the fact that, well, at one point when I was at this one lake in Menominee Falls, I can't really remember what it is though, I had this in my pocket along with my iPod Nano in my other pocket, and I completely forgot that both of those were in my pockets of my swimsuit until I took a dip in the water and I was almost up to my waist. Yep. I almost drowned this phone and my iPod, and they were both in my swimsuit trunks pockets. I almost drowned the two, but luckily as soon as I felt a lump, I realized they were still in my pockets. I was almost up to waist height in the water. I mean, that was a close call, but some other close calls that I managed to scuffle with this phone, probably my iPod too, is that while certain cables have a pretty tight grip on my iPod, and there were certain times in which my iPod was just dangling off of deadly drops from surfaces I was sitting on. And I was so lucky those cables I was using had tight grips on the iPod itself, because it weighed more than 4 ounces. And it couldn't have just let go of the cable, and it could have just fell to its death, really. The only few things I could salvage from this phone, however, I mean, the screen itself was badly shattered, and so I decided to undergo screen replacement surgery. That just didn't work, because now the screen broke off from its LCD parts. It just bonded straight to the LCD section right here. And yeah, that's pretty much just about it. Here's the case that I've had for it for a long time. I practically had this case with the LG here since I first bought it. Whoop. The camera is connected to the tripod right now. Anyways, I could salvage the case right here, possibly sell it or donate it to someone. I could also try to remove the battery to use it as an extra in case a battery that I have later on could just be dead and would need to be replaced, because this battery still has plenty of life left in it. The SIM card will also need to be removed as well, so that I can have some data on me. A lot of stuff keeps getting on my phone now. Pretty dirty too. There's a lot of dirt marks around the speaker here, thanks to this hole right here from the case itself. Anyways, March 11 was when this case finally managed, or no, the screen finally managed to shatter. Well, not the whole thing, just this third of it. And after deciding to go through a screen replacement operation, that was just the end of it right there. There's nothing more I could do. So now, for a little while now, I'm going to be using this old Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. Now, this was my mother's before she decided to let me use it for the rest of July. Somewhere around the beginning of August is where we're going to be purchasing another LG K8 2017. Probably not in this color though, because I just never really grew fond of the color scheme here. But anyways, let's salute. Let's bless some good memories to this phone, because it definitely took a lot of punishment in its time, including the fact that when I was at a Chicago Natural History Museum, it fell more than 30 feet from the top floor all the way to the bottom floor. It landed right on its bottom, so it barely even left a mark on it. It didn't even dent any of the holes here that can access the charging cable or the audio jack cable. It didn't even damage those. It didn't even damage the bottom, because the frame is so strong. The sides of the frame here are definitely made from some sort of a magnesium alloy of some sort. They're made from magnesium alloy. Some sort of an alloy hybrid between magnesium, aluminum, steel, and carbon. While the bottom and top are just, they have a navy blue color. I have no idea what they're made of, but I can tell they might be made from a certain material that's very strong as well. The screen itself is also pretty strong until, well, all those times that I've dropped it or some things have, smashed it. probably left a few marks on it from that time. All those times that did happen, to which the screen itself, man, she did get some marks right here around this whole area. It probably softened it up enough for this whole part to shatter. As soon as it dropped out of my pocket and fell on the bridge, it just managed to shatter finally. But anyways, God bless. We'll never forget the joyous memories I've had with this LG now that it's dead completely. The only parts I'm able to recover are the battery, SIM card, and this case. They're still perfectly intact. But anyways, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.